So you remember Jonte Porter, obviously Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. He was banned from the league for life last year as investigators were looking into performances of what he was doing there, some scandal. But now they're looking into some other players kind of connected to this ring that had him as well. So you got Terry Rozier, of course, veteran guard, plays with the Heat. He is the subject of part of this probe by this investigation. Has him back 2023 when he was with the Hornets. And they said it's an odd game where he only played 9 minutes, and there was a bunch of unusual betting on him. And they had notified the league, notified the teams, hey, something's going on. It's a bunch of weird money going on for Terry Rozier.
They know when they see the money come, they're like, this is too much money.
And then he only plays 9 minutes.
Right, there's too much money and probably the under on everything, right?
And he's out for the next week or so. So there's like concerns about what was going on there. So there's a big probe going into not just him, but other players, and also just a ring as a whole that goes into the college ranks as well. So this is where we are with this widespread investigation, again, into alleged game fixing in the NBA, also college basketball.
I'm not surprised by this. When they got in bed with gambling, Kelvin, here we are. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell me that if I'm in a locker room and I know Kevin Durant's not playing, but he's not listed on the sheet yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else knows. I'm a player on a team. I'm not going to call my cousin or my brother or my friend and say, dude, load up, okay? He ain't playing. Nobody knows. Get whatever the point is, and then they announce right at game time he's out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of insider trading, if you will, these things. That's why they have all these rules about the injury report. You got to announce it in football. They got to announce it on. Why do you got to announce it on Thursday? Why?
Mm-hmm.
To satisfy the gamblers. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't right. I didn't know he wasn't going to play. I didn't know that. I wouldn't have put the money on this.
And that's why they do it, because they know if they don't do it and people put money up, and then they find out that guys aren't playing, they're going to be repelled from saying, I'm not betting.
I'm not betting again.
And then all of a sudden the money dries up in Vegas and all this other stuff. Like, they're in bed with each other, and there's going to be more. There will be more, and we saw it with Porter.
Yeah.
Who, for a guy not that great in his numbers, for him to be a line on him, and for so much money to pour in on a guy like that, you think they're not monitoring?
They are.
What money goes where?
Here's the thing, you just mentioned it. It gets sticky when gambling's been around, we know, for forever, right? People are going to they probably back in the day putting money on which, I bet you this this canoe is going to get there sooner. I mean, gambling's been happening forever. However, once you start to open the doors where it becomes so widespread, you're talking about it. You literally have shows dedicated to it.
It's a part of, right.
It's a part. You have networks that have their own gambling sites and things attached to it. You can start talking about it again during the games. Like it becomes, you got apps now, and you got states that are allowing it that weren't previously. Now it becomes a part of the culture. And what happens is it becomes aligned with the sport. And now it's aligned with the sport, I guess you can say legally. Now it's aligned with the sport publicly. Now it's not in the shadows. Now it's not taboo. It's right there out in the open. And when you start to align yourself with this, you open up things to happen to the players, to fans who might get messed up, to broadcasters because they might be in the know, to the guy you were kind of what you were alluding to. That guy who works for the team, that manager, that physical therapist, that person who's like, hey, man, I don't know. All I know is I've been working on player X's knees for the last 2 weeks.
Playing.
He ain't got it right now. He's going to play, but I know he ain't a normal self. So if the over is 28 points tonight, trust me, he ain't doing that. He ain't got it tonight. I know his ankle's bad. I know his knee's bad. I know his mom's sick and his mind isn't there.
You're putting people in position to where they have inside information.
100%.
And they can pass it on to other people.
And it's already been there, again, gambling. But now that you've made it so commonplace, now you just upped it. You look at how sports align themselves with other things. Sports align themselves with drinking. When you think of sports, you think of let's go grab a beer and watch the game, or first thing you do when you get in a stadium, let's go grab a beer. And what happens? Because you've aligned yourself, you go to a ball game, Always fights. Everybody's drunk. Everybody's hammered. People getting tickets later on because they were driving. And it's just a part of sports. We've aligned ourselves, drinking, sports. What is the main commercials you see? Budweiser, this and that and the other. So now it has gotten to a place where these sports franchises, these sports leagues have aligned themselves with gambling, and bad things happen when you align yourself with it. Not that it doesn't happen. We try to have people stop drinking. What happened? Prohibition. And next thing you know, that's where you get all the mobsters
bootleggers,
and bootleggers.
Right.
So things are going to happen. But when you just say, okay, we're opening the doors and we open the floodgates, these things happen.
But here's the thing that people don't realize on how much sports repelled against gambling for a long time because they did not want to, jeopardize the integrity of the game. That's what you don't want to lose. It's the integrity. What I'm watching, is this real or WWE?
Yep.
And that's where people, you see every weekend, what do you see on Twitter trending? Rigged for the NFL.
Kansas City Chiefs, yeah.
But it's rigged.
Every game. It's something, oh, man, this ain't, we are, what's the phrase everybody's been using the last few years in the NBA and NFL? The script.
Right.
Oh, the script is written. And let's say somebody randomly had a 50-point night in the NBA, like, oh, he must not have read the script.
Right.
Or some quarterback backup guy balls out, and they're like, he ain't get the script, meaning you wasn't supposed to beat the Chiefs or
you weren't supposed to do that.
Team. Yeah, absolutely.
And here's, back in the day, Major League Baseball was so against gambling. We already know the Pete Rose story. He never got in the Hall of Fame. The guy died without getting in, all right, because of gambling. And when you walk into a clubhouse, you know this. You've been in the Dodgers, and the biggest sign in the room is about gambling. Okay, if you get caught gambling, you're going to be banned for life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's what they say because they don't want that. But at one point, they had Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle became greeters at the casino in Atlantic City. Now, you know what a greeter is.
Yeah,
like,
hey, well, come on, hey, how you doing?
Come on in, hey. Do you know that baseball would not allow Willie Mays, after they took those jobs as greeters for money, to wear uniforms in any kind of thing and be involved in like all-star games or any major league event, even though they weren't gambling or anything, but just
it's involved with
greeters,
money, casino, gambling, mob,
and this wasn't sports book. This is just slot machines and stuff. And they still were like, no. Two of the greatest stars ever played Major League Baseball. Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle were persona non grata.
Yep.
Now, Bree, you have something you want to add to this?
Well, I was reading that the NBA had already conducted the investigation.
Yeah, this is where, yes.
Yeah, and they said that they did not find a violation of any NBA rules. And I think that's just a little sketchy.
That's where it gets, that's a great point, Bree.
And it was nobody ever said anything about it. We never heard about it, and it's been like, what, a year and a half now? So
yeah, that's a great point that now you got this widespread investigation that's beyond the NBA because it almost turns into, oh, we gave y'all a shot. You know how it always happens with it could be domestic violence. So say the team will say, we ain't finding anything. We don't, and then they go, all right, well, let us check.
What?
And something comes up.
All we got to do is talk about Balco and Barry Bonds. That was a government investigation with a net. They weren't looking for Barry Bonds. They were looking for stuff going on with this company, and they go through the files, and guess whose name is in there?
And they thought it was going to be more Olympic stuff too, the track. And that was, I read a really good book on that. And last one, you were just saying a minute ago. I always say, in the era of so much reality TV, sports is the only real reality TV.
That's why it still gets TV ratings. We talk about it. The only two things on television that get ratings, national news, and sports, live sporting events. That's it. You know,
and because you don't know what's going on, meaning the news is telling what's happening in the world. Oh my gosh, there was a plane crash in DC last night. You didn't know that until you saw the news. And NBA right now we got all different sports on. We got college basketball, we got hockey over here, we got this going on, We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Even with March Madness, on paper, this 2 seed should beat this 15 seed, but what happens? It always happens. Some 15 seed beats the number 2 seed. We love to see it. Obviously, a 12-5 always happens, too. My point is, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's the last reality TV, the only reality TV, and we love it. And the idea that stuff is truly rigged, or this guy is shortchanging us, or he's affecting the outcome in a negative way, and he's, cheating the system, it ruins it, man. And in any NFL, NBA, MLB, they don't want to be connected to that because the minute you start to lose fans, people are tapped out. And it becomes, as you mentioned, WWE.
Right.
It's a lose-lose for all. So the NBA, as Bree just brought up, Clearly, they're going to be like, hey, that didn't happen. We didn't see anything. It was just, hey, move on. Then federal investigators start coming in. Hold on now.
All right, let's try to get as many people in on this. 877-99 on Fox. And the gambling aspect, here's the other last part. It's changed the way people watch games, and it's not as enjoyable. Because
without it, you mean?
No, with the gambling, it's not as enjoyable because.
Oh, honey, you're not rooting for the team.
You're like,
I need this guy to hit another three.
Exactly. That's what you're looking for. And when you don't get it, you've heard the players, the NBA players.
Everywhere they go, you
yelling,
messed up my parlay.
Exactly. You cost me $6,000. Yep. You bum. You didn't get that. I needed you to get one more free
100%.
throw.
People root against their own team.
Yes.
If your favorite team was the Indianapolis Colts and they were playing the Buccaneers. But you needed the Buccaneers to score over, you're like, hey, go ahead and beat my team. It definitely has changed it for sure.
It has changed it. 877-99 on Fox.
We're talking about this gambling ring that now the investigations are going. Big part of it is back in 2023, Terry Rozier was with the Hornets, and they're saying there was some odd betting placed around him. The NBA didn't find anything in their investigation. We didn't even hear about it. But now there's a federal one going on. And we're just talking about gambling in sports. Good thing, bad thing, what say you? 877-99 on Fox.
Right, and has it affected the way you watch?
Watch the viewing habits, yeah.
Kyle in Spokane, Washington, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, guys. Glad to be on the show.
Thank you.
I think they need to dial back the sports betting thing. It's really, obviously it's challenging the integrity of the game. We have, players shaving points. But watching sports with someone who's betting on the game is so just it's tedious, guys.
Am I right?
Dude, I just told Rob. I literally just told Rob. I have a friend, a close friend for decades, and that was my favorite friend to talk sports with. And the last 2-3 years, I hate it now.
Gambling.
Every time we used to talk about the actual game and this and game, the X's and O's. What would you do here in this scenario? This dude messed up my part. Hey, text message. Hey, it'll be a screenshot of his part. Hey, should I do this or should I do? Man, can we just talk about the game itself?
Is that what you're getting to, Kyle?
Yeah, it's awful. I get that the sports betting brings up viewership, but really, if you have to have money on a game to watch sports, are you really a sports fan or are you a gambling addict? I can't stand going to the sports bar anymore because there's so many people that they're rooting for this player and they're rooting for this on two different teams, man. They're like, oh, I need this guy to get 100 yards, but I need this guy to get 3 sacks.
It ain't even
and you're not even talking about the game.
Right. It ain't even about winning. Thanks,
position?
Kyle.
Yo, would you go for 4th down on this position? It is all about that.
Alice in Pittsburgh, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Alice?
What's up, Alice?
Hi. I thought I wasn't allowed to call on.
I wasn't see you just snitched on yourself, Alice. I wasn't even gonna bring it up, Alice.
Alice, don't say anything.
Alice. You're self-snitching on yourself.
Just keep it clean, okay?
No. I know. You know what? I did that one.
Go ahead, Alice. Don't say it.
Don't even bring. You keep bringing it
up. Just go.
Wait. Okay. So there's betting going on in NBA. There's betting going on in sports. Betting on games. Does anybody remember Tim? What's his name? Donahue.
Yeah, the referee. Yeah.
Was it the Phoenix Suns? Yeah, and I forget the other guy's name. So when people say that referees aren't doing this, like, how can people not be suspicious of it when that happens? That got swept under the rug.
No, let me tell you something, Alice. Go listen to a podcast called Whistleblower. That's all I'm gonna say. You listen to that one, Bree shook her head. I almost want to say you don't listen to it because it will make you look at sports differently. Did you listen to that one?
No, but I've heard. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There was
they talk about that Kings-Lakers game back in 2002 and how that changed. Like, everybody was like, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
And that was a big one.
Thanks, Alice. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alice.
In Detroit, this is with the Bad Boys. There was a guy who did the clock. And what he would do was just hesitate. When you start the clock, just hesitate every time before he hit the button. So more time, and the Pistons kept having more possessions, and the score would always go over. They were like, something's happening, and then they started watching the tape to figure out. But that's what the guy did. Yeah, like he just Just a little hesitation.
Because, at the end of a game, you might have gave them 4 or 5 extra possessions.
Exactly, and then they go over, and they were like, how do the Pistons games go over all the time?
They always got an extra about 12, 15 seconds a game.
Alex, is that North Dakota? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Alex?
What's up, Alex?
Hey, not much. Just want to say, listen to you guys. Listen to you guys on the way from coaching swimming every single night. Love the show.
Thank you.
Nice.
We appreciate it.
A couple of ways that I think it's ruined it for me. I mean, one big thing, and now I got kids that used to love coming in and showing me baseball cards, football cards, anything like that, and now they're talking about betting on sports, 13, 15,
that's crazy.
16-year-olds. I'm like,
crazy,
that kind
man.
of sucks. But, I mean, I love fantasy football, but I can tell you I'm a big Minnesota Vikings fan. Love Justin Jefferson, but when he drops 40 on me, not a huge fan. And so I think it's kind of
it changed.
the same way of gambling.
Yeah, it just changed the way you view it for those personal things. Matter of fact, it kind of goes back to talking about with Cam Newton. It's like it makes it all about that one player.
But that's how the NFL got popular. Like, people, thanks for the call. People don't realize that it was fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was gambling attached, and people started watching the game differently, so that if the Jaguars are playing,
you're like, hey, I'm into it.
In the old days, you did not watch that game.
100%.
And now you got players on that team, and 100%. That's what spurred the attention.
Remember
of the
Brett
league.
Musburger used to have to sneak it in, talking about it back in the day. You're like, they might want to keep that player in for reasons. And like now, we know what it is.
How about Chris in Miami? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to say you guys are awesome. I'm always driving around, and I've just started listening to you guys this year, and you guys are spot on. It's like what I'm thinking. You guys are thinking the same thing, and we all appreciate it. Those last callers are spot on with
kids betting. The game.
The kids, right.
That's scary. That's the scary part, Chris.
How about watching games with friends and whatnot? One of the other callers was talking about, like, he doesn't enjoy it because they're so
not talking about that.
They're so mad about some play or some rebound the guy didn't get.
They're not locked into the game in the moment. They're locked into – maybe we talk about other games. Like, dude, we're watching this game. We're watching the Ravens-Bills, and you're telling me about some NBA game that doesn't matter, the Wizards, because you got money on that. I'm like, man, can we watch the game? Chris, thank you for the call, too, man. We appreciate you.
Yes. Brian in Ohio, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, B?
Hey, guys. Great show. Listen, buckle up. This one's tough. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right.
A couple years ago, he's a freshman. He's on the practice squad of a D1 basketball program, and they start telling all kinds of inside information on who's hurt, who's not hurt for all these NCAA teams. They're getting all kinds of inside track information. He calls me up and starts telling me what to bet on, and I have to tell him, you better slow down. I said, you gotta think about this. You're going to get these NCAA guys in trouble.
Right.
And he tells me, well, Dad, you're overreacting. I'm like, son, you better put the brakes on. I said, I know you're only on the practice squad, but these guys in the locker room are talking about this guy's hurt, that guy hurt, this guy's going to play, this guy's not going to play. And he's making bets on the team that he's practicing for. And I said, dude, you got to put the brakes on this.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to touch base really on Kyle from Spokane, and now my son, he's a senior, all his roommates. It is so hard to watch a game with them because all they do is talk about their bets. That's all they talk about.
It is unbelievable.
And that's a great point. Thank you for the call, man, and hoping everything works out. But that's a great point that you're going to have a whole new generation of kids who view, which is not good for sports. If I'm only viewing it from a gambling perspective, that's not good.
It was almost like what used to bother me, and we're going to take more of your phone calls, 877-99 on Fox, so you can call in if you still want to get in. But I remember watching video of big moments in sports where people should be cheering and going crazy, and everybody's holding the phone, recording the moment. So you don't have as many claps and cheers as you used to because people are doing
with the
this.
phone in my hand.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you're at a game, there's like this big moment going on, and you're doing this.
But to be fair, I've had to train myself, concerts or, like you said, sporting events or just whatever. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. It's your natural instinct now to grab your phone.